Hi everybody. For those that are not aware, I host a challenge on my website every month. Well, we are only 3 months in, so it's really new. So in May, we created ourselves as creative peeps, which means we took a picture of ourselves and we added collage items that represented things that we liked and, along that lines that made it us. So we had lots of fun with that one. And in June, we had a challenge where there were 5 prompts that we had to follow. And you can still play along with those if you like. It's never too late. It's great just for inspiration, like if you're in a creative rut or anything, or you don't know what to do but you want to play, just pick up a challenge. It doesn't matter if it's over or not. So you can head to my website, deniselushinspired.com, and in the blog you will find posts for the challenges. And that's where you'll find a post for this one as well. So I don't have anything planned out. Like, I know I want to make a mini album. So, and all I'm going to provide for this challenge is the base of the album. So the pages, that's it. How you decorate it, whatever you want to do to it is up to you. If you want a collage on it, that's great. If you just want to do doodles, quotes, you can paint, mixed media, Delusions, Dina Wakley, Tim Holtz, anything you want to do is totally fine. You do whatever makes you happy. I'm just providing the base of the album, so you get to run wild with it. So, like I said, I have nothing planned other than I wanted to make a mini album. And we're going to run this challenge for 2 months. With it being summer, I know people tend to be a little bit busier in the summer. So I thought 2 months would be better, especially with this being a mini album. Like, it'll probably take more time to get it finished, depending on how much you want to put into it. So I'm going to play as I go and figure out how I want to do this thing. So you're going to see me come up with the style for this album, because like I said, I have nothing planned. So I'm thinking for the first thing to decide is the size. And I want to make it easy. So we're not going any bigger than like that for a page across. And I think I would like to have one where it folds up to create pockets, so we can tuck something in the pockets. So first I'm going to score this in half. So mine has centering marks. So I'm lining it up at like the top. It shows you from 0 to 12 in the black numbers, and then I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but there's light blue numbers. And like the Tim Holtz ruler, like it has a centering point, and then it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm lining it up at 5.5 on each side. And I'm just scoring it down the center. And then I'm trying to think how big I want my album. So that way it's 5.5. I don't want it a perfect square. I don't tend to do well with squares for some reason. So I'm thinking, I know it's only 1/2 inch bigger, but I think I'm going to score this one at 6 inches. So then if we fold that, let me fold that up. But what I'm going to do, because with this here, that'll make that bulky and it's not going to fold as nicely. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to, if you want to be precise, I'll measure. I was just going to eyeball it, but just in case you guys are a little pickier than I am, I will go 3/8. I'll mark 3/8 on each side. And then I'm going to run that to that crease line there. I'm going to remove that. And that way it takes the bulk from that corner and it makes it nice and easy to fold. So that's one page. I have these scraps too, and I'm gonna try and incorporate these into the album. So now what can we do for another page? Like I said, I'm just winging it. This is another scrap piece. Trying to see how big it is. 8.5, so it was, the bottom was cut off of it. It's pretty much a square. And this is 5.5, no, 6. So I'm gonna cut it down to 6 inches. So you have basically, it's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper with a band cut off. So just take, if you have a full sheet, just take your full sheet and cut it down to 6 inches. And then for this page, I'm going to keep it simple. So this is 6 inches, and if we turn it this way, it's 8.5. So we're going to center, so 4 1/4. And you don't have to use a scoreboard. I'm just not the best at lining the edges up and getting a nice fold. So I prefer to use a scoreboard. And I don't even know where this page is going to go. It may go in the middle there to separate the pockets. It may go here. I don't even know how I'm going to bind this book yet. I'm just making pages and we'll figure out the rest after. So this is a piece of paper that's 11 by 4. So I'm going to use this, and this is a full sheet of paper that I'm going to, I'm going to keep the height of our album the same, so every page is going to be 6 inches tall. So I'm going to cut this down to 6 inches. So now it's 6 by 11.5. And I'm going to score this one in half. So I'm scoring it at 5.5 inches. I think I would like to add a flap. I'm going to score this one in half as well. So I'm scoring this one at 5.5 inches. I think I'd rather come up top. So I'm going to leave that for now, and I'm thinking it's going to be a flap that goes over the top, so we'll just leave that. Okay, so this is another piece that is 11 by 4 inches. And so what you could do, since we've used 2 already, just take an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and cut 2 4-inch strips off. And then you'll have these 2 pieces that we're using in the album. So for this one, again, I'm going to score it in the middle. I'm keeping this simple. Score it in the middle, and then I'm going to find the center, which is 2 inches. I'm just going to make a mark, and then I'm going to take this and line up the 90 degrees with that little mark we just made, and I'm going to draw around that. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to cut it. And I didn't cut exactly on the line. No big deal, it's just getting the basic shape. And that will be another page. Now let's see what we have so far. We have a basic page and another basic page, but one that we're going to add this flap to. And we have this folder page. And I think that is going to go in there. I'm going to do it like that. And then try and think about how I want this band together. So if I do it like this, we're going to have to do a stitch. If I do them separately, then we'll have to do some sort of binding this way. And I really don't want these two together, so I think we're going to have to go with a pamphlet stitch. So I'm going back to this. And then this. Okay, so we're going to take another piece of paper and cut it so it's 6 inches, and then I want this I think I'll still score it at 5.5. And then I have this piece from the goof, and I will gonna cut off 3 inches. I'm cutting at 3 inches, and that's going to be a flap for there. And I'm just going to put that there. And then I'm going to cut off another 3 inches. And we'll have a flap for that side as well. So let's see how many pages we have. I'm thinking maybe 2 in each bundle. I'm thinking maybe that one will go like that. And that'll be these 2 pages. So I don't want to make the album too huge. And then these 2. So then we have this one, and we need 1 more page. So let's see, we have pockets and a plain. And then we have a smaller, slightly shaped, and a flap. And then we have this page with the flaps. I think I want another small shaped. Thinking I would like to have like a circle on the inside. So from that goof, so we had a page that was 6 by 11, and we took a 3-inch strip, a 3-inch strip, and then this is the piece that was left in the center. So this one measures 5 inches. So it's 5 by 6. We're going to take this one and make a circle. So use whatever circle, like you can just find something that's a circle that big, which well, I'm not going to spend the time looking for it, but you can use anything as a circle template. I'm just going to use this because I knew where it was. I didn't want to have to search for something. So, and I'm eyeballing it. Maybe I'll measure for you guys. So I know it's centimeters. I don't do centimeters. And this one has a centering, so I'll do this one. 2.5. That's the center that way, and 3 inches on each side. Should be the center this way. So I have my center. I'm going to put that in the center. Let's see how good I am. There we go. And then I'm going to erase that a little bit. And I'm just going to cut it out by hand. And we'll get the scoreboard back. It's going to be a little harder to see where the edge is. Maybe I should have left that center line. Let's see. That's pretty darn close. I'm going with that. May not be perfect, but that's okay. And that will be the center of that one. And that's all the pages I'm going to do, because once you put it together, it's quite a bit. Now, I know I would prefer to decorate my pages before stitching it together. So there are lots of videos out there on how to do a pamphlet stitch. So I will find one and I'll link it in the description box. That, or I will just, I'll spell out the name of the stitch just in case you can't, like you're unsure of what to look for. But I think most people, if you've done any kind of mini album making, I know some people haven't, but if you have, I'm sure you know how to do this stitch, because I really don't want to stitch mine together yet. But this is how my pages are going to be. And you can just design these pages and put your album together any way you want. You don't have to do the pamphlet stitch. You can do a binding where you do it this way and take some like tape and bind it that way. You can configure your pages in a different way than I'm going to do mine. So yeah, I'm going to leave that part up to you, because maybe you want to do it differently. Yeah, so that's another part of how you can make this your own. I've given you the basis of the pages, and you can decide how you want to bind yours together. If you want to do the stitching like I'm going to do, if you want to put yours together in groups of 2, maybe you want to do 2 groupings of 3. You can do that as well. Or maybe, like I said, you want to do it where you have tape and you bind your pages together that way. So I'm going to leave it totally up to you, but I'll show you how I'm going to do mine. Like, I'm not going to stitch it, but I'll show you what pages I'm putting with which. So I'm going to have the folder one with this, and this is going to be my middle. I'm going to have this, I'm going to have this one with this basic page, but then we took this and put it over here. That is going to be my back set. So that's going to be my back. The folder is going to be my middle. I'm going to have this one for my front, I believe. We're going to have that with the circle. And then these are going to be flaps. For the flaps, I'm going to tape. I'm going to tape them on with like a hinge. So I'm going to put washi tape here, and then I'll open it up and I'll put washi tape along here, and that's how I'll join the flaps. And if you need any help with anything, just comment down below or ask me in my Facebook group. I'll link the Facebook group down below too, because that's where everybody shares their projects that they did on the challenges. You can also share them on Instagram. Just make sure you use the hashtag deniselushinspired. And for this one, you can do Denise Lush Challenge 3, because this is our 3rd challenge. And then I can see it. So that's going to be the front. Actually, I think I'm going to do one more thing. We need a cover. So I have one more sheet. And again, I'm going to turn it and cut it to 6 inches. Actually, I want to do this one. Yeah, I'm still going to do 6 inches. I thought about making it slightly bigger, but I'm not going to. And now, because this is thicker, if we just simply do this, it's going to be short. So I think what I'll do, for the cover, I will score at 5.5. So that will cover the front just fine. But then I'm going to give it a spine. So score it at 5.5. Then I'm going to score it again 3/8. I'm going to do another score line. See if that's thick enough. Yeah, that'll be good. 3/8. And then I'm going to take another piece. Let's see how much we have. So this is another scrap piece that was lying around. I'm going to, this is another 4x11 scrap, so I'm going to cut it at 6 inches. And then I'm going to tape that together. Trying to decide what tape I'm going to use. I may regret it, but I'm going to use this brown tape. I don't know what kind of tape this is, but it's like what they use on cardboard boxes, because it's like a paper tape. I'm just going to cut a piece of that. I think the easiest way I'm going to do this is apply it partially over here. And I'm not going to go halfway, I'm just going to go in about 1/4 of an inch. very sticky. I'm going to flip it over and add this. So I just lined it up and I'm sticking it down. And then I'm going to take another piece and try to line that up. Sorry if you see my head. Oops, it already stuck, so I'm going with it. No. Oh, so sticky. And then I'm going to trim this off. Okay. So now we have that. I'm just going to mark. And I'm going to go out a tiny bit from the edge, that way if there's any bulk it'll be okay. I'm just going to go a tiny bit. And then I'm folding this, not the first score line but the second score line, and I'm butting that edge up against here. I'm just lifting that so I can see, and I'm going to score where I marked. So it works out to be 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. And then I'm going to do another, I'll flip it over because I want my score lines this way. Then I'm going to do another 3/8. 1, 2, 3. So we're creating what we did here. And this is going to be a little stiffer to fold because of that tape. So I'm going to grab a bone folder. So now your cover, it's very stiff. Should look like that. You're looking at it from the top. And you'll take your pages, or at least this is how I'm doing mine. I'm going to fit those in there, and then when I do my stitch, it'll stitch onto this. Or I may I may machine sew it down once the pages are done. We'll see. And then that will flap over to the front like that. And it's like that because of these clips. I take these out and it won't look like that. See? It's nicer. And it's big enough that it gives it room, like once you add paint or collage or whatever you're going to do on your pages. Chances are mine will be collage because, well, you know, I love collage. So that is my album. These are the pages that I'm going to do. And before I lose these, I'm going to attach these back on. So like I said, you can do yours however you'd like. These are the basic pages I did. And if you want to change this so this isn't, actually, you know what? No. This is a part of the challenge. This is the one thing I do want you to stick with, because otherwise what's the point in having a challenge if I say, you know, change that if you want to. So the thing that I'm asking you is to do all the pages the same as what I did. So you'll have this circle, you'll have this page with the flaps. All the page designs will be the same and the same size. But where you get free reign is how you put your pages together. You can do that any way you want. And if you want, you can do your cover differently, because depending on how you attach your pages, you may have to do your cover a different way. But do your page styles the same. You can rearrange them if you want, but the basic page styles, I want you to do the same as mine. You can bind it however you want, finish it however you want, group them together however you want. Okay, so that is the June challenge that I'm gonna have run for 2 months, because again, summertime can be a little bit busier, and this is a bit of a bigger project. So you have 2 months to do it. I hope you enjoy making it, and I can't wait to see what you guys do.